IHT?
My experience with the InHouse Techies really is sort of multi-pieced. I met Brian and InHouse Techies initially working with a hospice that I was the medical director of, and they did an outstanding job for the hospice. They not only managed the computer side of that business, but they managed the phone side. I personally haven't had a huge need for the phone side, although Brian and his staff have helped me decide on cell phones and program the email functionality of the phones. And then I hired Brian and his staff to do all of my IT at my practice in the Arcata area of Phoenix, and they did an outstanding job. They redid our entire network. They made us much more efficient, and right at that same time, we adopted a fairly high-tech EMR, and that's a challenging thing to do unless you have really outstanding tech help on the computer side. So that made the whole process so much better. And now I'm in a small practice where I rely on almost better IT support, or I need better IT support because I'm a solo guy. I have no employees, and everything has to run perfectly every day or I'm dead in the water. And Brian and his staff make sure that it runs perfectly every day. I think before I met Brian and his staff, I had a reasonable computer savvy, but they've made me much more computer savvy. They've helped me learn to solve the problems that I could solve and not have to call them, which saves me time and money. And then they've also told me areas where I should probably not dabble because I could really mess things up and cause a bigger problem. And they've taught me so much about cell phones and how they work and how to interface the cell phones with my whole information flow. It's just been great. I think Brian and staff are amazingly professional. I never feel like when I call them that I've asked a dumb question or that I'm imposing on their time. And they're always so professional when they come out. They never make me feel stupid. And something I really appreciate is that in the past, some of the IT companies I've worked with had tried to sell me technology that I really don't need, and that's something that they've never done. They've looked at what I do and tried to match the technology I have with the needs I have. I think there's two groups of there's two groups of employers that we're talking about. The small employer like myself really needs someone like Brian and his staff because we can't afford to hire a full-time IT person, nor can we afford to hire an IT person that is not going to be responsive. So we need someone who's responsive, affordable, and just there for us when we need them. A bigger office, I think, would be well-suited to have people like Brian and his staff assess their entire IT infrastructure and try to streamline it. And I know they can do that. That may be a fair number of hours up front, but the hours spent up front will definitely be made up by fewer hours spent downstream. So I strongly recommend a company, InHouse Techies, to do that because I think they do an excellent job of it. Right now, I can't think of another technology company in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area that I would recommend ahead of IHT.